Hello and welcome to another episode of Hasu Hour. I'm your host, Zerg, bringing you another exciting StarCraft matchup. This game takes place on Runes of Syrah, and the matchup is Protoss versus Protoss. Runes of Syrah, a fairly large, expansion-rich map, forest tile set with a natural expansion just below your choke. It features a extended ramp and a nearby third natural. Both my opponent and I decide to opt for Nexus First expansion, perhaps on account of the fact that the map is so large and a rush is relatively unlikely. My opponent beating me here to Gateway just a little bit, although you can see because of the fact that he cut probes to get to Gateway faster, he is now at a slight harvester disadvantage. You also see that I begin long distance mining as I am oversaturated, slightly oversaturated. There's also a idle probe here, hidden by the pylon. Probably, oh, that's not, yeah, hidden by the pylon, probably. Oh, and luckily picked up. A transfer from my Asian opponent. Attempted attack on the scouting probe in his base. Fortunately for my opponent, he did decide to scout the wrong way, and on a map this size, it's really going to delay his intel. Psycore coming online for the red Protoss. Probably going to see some robotics tech here, as well as an adept pump. 3 gates for red toss, 3 gates now for blue toss. Very, very similar builds thus far. A really strong harvester advantage for myself of 7 workers. As a result, ahead in income in both gas and minerals. However, this comes at a cost, in particular my opponent's military advantage in the form of 2 adepts with, well, no more on the way presently, but robotics facility coming online here. No post-core tech for myself. One lone stalker defending the Protoss embarkment. Warp gate being researched by red. No warp gate yet for myself. And in come the adepts using their psionic transfer ability. Well, the ghost is invulnerable during the transfer process. The actual adept is still corporal and can still be attacked. Some nice probe kills here by red, although still a 6 harvester advantage for myself. As income beginning to stabilize a little bit. Neither of us have gas yet on our natural. 4 gates now for blue, 4 gates for red. But red also has robotics tech and a warp prism coming online. So it looks like we are going to see some drop play. There are no island expansions. which he could be intending the Warp Prism for. He also has the Immortal. The Immortal, a powerful Protoss anti-siege unit, which can only take a max of 10 damage at a time. Very useful for taking on siege tanks or any unit which does mass damage in one shot. Army composition for blue Protoss, Stalker, Sentry, and we've got some action. A Warp Prism, unladen, approaching the blue base, no doubt going to take advantage of the phasing mode feature of the Warp Prism to warp in some attackers into the blue main. As well as this advanced pylon. And 5 Zealots ripping through the blue main, disrupting the mining, and retreating at the first sign of trouble. Very nice tactic by Red here. Look at the differences in income during this drop, equalizing now as the blue probes return to the main. Red taking that third natural, still behind in harvester count, still behind in gas income. Again, dropping, causing damage in the blue main. 2 Stalkers simply unable to fend off the mad Zealot threat. Adepts joining their Zealot brethren. Red finally taking a harvester advantage for the first time in the game. Just absolutely devastating here. Finally, some Stalkers warping in and taking out the Zealots, which are trying in vain. And a counterattack by the blue Protoss. Really, really devastating. Really devastating the red forces. Look at the supply advantage, up by 20 units. But the photon overcharge, a really powerful defensive tool. These pylons are doing a lot of damage. This Immortal also really, really earning his stripes here. And difficult to call this attack a success. That photon overcharge just completely decimated the Protoss, blue Protoss forces. Supply now equal. Red way ahead in income on account of the massive damage done by the drop. Another attack by blue Protoss, wailing away on this Nexus. More Stalkers coming to reinforce. A 8 Stalker army taking out that mothership core, but ultimately these Immortals are just ripping through the Stalker army, and a clear victory for Red. Red's income significantly better, as both his main and his natural are fully saturated. And the third base coming online. A 13 harvester advantage for the red forces. Sneaky pylon play at the blue natural, or second natural. And a clear advantage in terms of army income. harvesters and tech for the red Protoss. We'll look at army composition. Goon, Zeal, and Immortal for red Toss. Stalker, Sentry for blue Toss myself. Really, it seems to be these Immortals which are giving the red Protoss the advantage. A lone stray sentry scouting the attack, and force fields being thrown down, halting the red Toss offensive. Perhaps he should simply attack the exposed. Second natural, in comes an add-up drop, not doing a tremendous amount of damage against the more powerful stalkers. Another assault now by the red Toss on the blue Protoss base, but scouted and defended. Force fields disrupting the red Protoss forces. And a chase now to see what stray units can be picked off during the tactical retreat. Yet another drop on the blue main, this time with stalkers, engaged by stalkers, stalker on stalker violence. Kind of weak micro here. There it is. And fended off. But a substantial economic advantage for red Toss, as expressed in his mineral and gas glut, higher income, and 15 harvester edge. Colossus tech coming into play. Blue Toss still on basic gateway units, although upgrades here researching +1 attack? +1 attack already upgraded for the red Toss. Expo number 4 coming online for both red and blue, or being built. Double forge tech for blue. Red getting level 2 upgrade for weapons, as well as charge and blink. And again, massing an attack. This time, stalkers in his composition on the move, targeting this vital third expansion. A 5th base for blue. And almost there. Taking out the mothership core. Grabbing these long distance miners. Moving in. An awesome force. Force field micro here. Segregating a small part of the red force to be taken out by the stalkers. But the high ground advantage here, as well as these vital immortals, really, and zealots running through the blue base. GG.